Today I'm driving the 2024 Hyundai Tucson Hybrid, and this one is the ultimate package. I think this is probably one of the best hybrid CUVs in the market that you can buy today, and I'm going to show you why. Let's roll! So here's what we have, a 2024 Hyundai Tucson HEV hybrid motor. And today we're going to talk about what this thing offers and why I think it's probably one of the best CUV hybrids out there that you can buy today. But before we do that, special thanks to also our great friends at Don Valley North Hyundai. They're a Hyundai dealership and Genesis located north of Toronto. They're kind enough to allow me to borrow this for today, test drive it and show you everything you need to know. We've done videos with them before, so if you want to reach out to my good friend Guy, don't forget to check out the link in the description below, or just walk into the dealership and ask for one of these for a test drive. But for now, let's talk about this thing, and let's start first with the exterior. What we have in here is essentially the fully loaded version of the hybrid Tucson. This is the ultimate package. In the US might be a different name, but it's essentially the same trim. You get 3 trims with the hybrid motor. There is the N line, which is new for this year. We don't have that. And then you have the premium and also the ultimate. And this is the ultimate, essentially is the fully loaded version of the Tucson hybrid. Let us begin with the exterior. The first thing you notice about the Tucson is that since they did this new generation, this received some major updates on inside and outside. But the exterior, it is a bit unusual, it is a bit different, but I think it has that cool effect, including the taillights, which are totally different from any other Hyundai models. I mean, the way this thing is designed, the actual taillight that starts on this side and moves all the way to the right side, it is unique to the Tucson, something you don't see in many other models. And it does have more lights for the reverse lights, and you have the turning signal as well. You have an aggressive diffuser at the back. Now, if we're talking about Hyundai, you know that they love to go a little bit the extra mile in terms of tech features, and one of that is, of course, the key fob, which I have in my hands right now. This here is the key fob, and with the ultimate package, you get the park in and park out from the remote, which I think is pretty cool and something you don't see in other competitors at this level, and especially for what the price of this thing is. And you have, of course, hands-free tailgate. With this package, you can open it from the remote control from the actual key fob. Or you have the button located underneath here. You press that, and there you go. You have automatic tailgate in this case. And one of the things that we love about the Tucson is the fact that it offers quite a lot of cargo space. I mean, look at this. I have all my equipment here, plus I can easily fit more because it offers so much space overall. On top of that, you do get some space underneath here, which a lot of hybrids tend to not offer that because some companies decide to put the actual battery in the back, which eliminates this area completely. You can also fold the seats with a lever located onto the side over here or onto that side. And over here we have a 12 volts charging port in case if you need it. You can also get a cover, the back, that connects through these lines on the side over here. The next thing is that you press this button over there, and there you go. You can close the tailgate automatically. You can also do so with the remote. That's something that they offer with the ultimate package. If I had to pick a Tucson, in my opinion, the white color would be best. I don't know why. This thing looks pretty cool in white, in my opinion. It looks different. If it was in black or a different darker color, the lines would disappear. Because if you get close to this thing, look at this area over here. The way this thing is carved out, to me, it's something different. It's not just flat. They've gone the extra mile to make this different, including the front end over into the side, and then continues onto the rear end. Now, one thing you notice with this is the wheels, which are pretty big, I have to say, for a vehicle this size and for a vehicle that is hybrid. The bigger the tires, the less the fuel efficiency, and also a bit of a rough ride. These are 19-inch wheels. I don't know how this thing drives yet because I haven't driven it, But here's what it offers. With this package, you get 235/55 in the front, 19-inch wheels. You have these two-tone wheels, which I think look really, really nice. And then moving on to the back side, of course, this is an all-wheel drive model. It should have squared tires for the back side as well, which are 235/55 19-inch wheels. I have to say, it is very rare seeing CUVs hybrid with big wheels. They tend to have smaller, maybe 18-inch, but I'm sure you could figure that out and change that if you wanted. In terms of convenience on the outside, this does have keyless entry, but only the front door. As you can see, there's a button located right there. You press that, you lock the vehicle or to unlock. Then you have the side mirrors as well, which have the 360 cameras, also turning signal. Moving on to the front end, again, this is where this thing changes in my opinion. It is totally different from any other vehicle. It has a very unique design. Again, a bit unusual in my opinion, but it does work. They're sort of merged together with the grille, which kind of gives it a bit of a wing design. They have like the left side wing over here and then the right side wing onto the side, which I think is something, again, that you don't see in most vehicles. Hyundai likes to go a bit above and beyond in terms of design. They do think a lot about how they design these vehicles because they're totally different. Look at the headlights. They're not even located at the top. They're actually right at the bottom onto this area. Now, let's jump onto the interior. Here we go, jumping into the second row. Look at how much space you get in this thing. And I can actually fix the recliner a little bit more. There is an armrest in the center here with two cup holders, which I think is quite nice. Comfortable, lots of space, lots of leg room, lots of headroom. And what I like even more is the fact that it does come with a beautiful panoramic roof. In fact, it's quite large. It starts all the way from that front end all the way to the back behind the seats, which I think is a nice touch and also brings a bit of that light inside. Really nice experience, especially if you drive this at nighttime. It's going to look quite nice looking up at the sky. I like the interior space, two air vents, some space here for the net. There's a pocket onto the side here behind the seat. Very spacious. I'm 6'2", so that gives you an idea how much space you get overall. Now, let's jump into the front. Here we go. Front row. Let's start it up. First, because it's hybrid, the engine doesn't start first, which I think is quite nice. It's a very easy one to understand. This is showing me right now, as we speak, full tank, 729 kilometers, which I think is pretty good. Now, mind you, we did push it a little bit because we're doing rollers, so that means the fuel efficiency is not as perfect. So we're going a little bit faster and pushing it hard and moving around, so let's not forget about that part. Tech features, here's what you got. This massive screen in the center. There's the climate unit, dual climate zone in this case. There's heated seats, ventilated seats for both passenger and driver side. There's a wireless charging pad located into the middle over here. There's also two USB ports in the middle. You have two cup holders, an armrest, lots of space, power handbrake, of course, auto hold in this case. Moving on to the steering wheel, of course, similar steering wheel to the new design for the Hyundai Tucson. We have a digital cluster in the center. I also do believe that Hyundai is probably going to introduce a new generation. I don't know when, but I think it's going to happen soon for 2025 potentially. That means next year will be available to be booked. And I think it's about time because I think this has been in a while for a while. This has been in the business for a while now. So that would be nice to sort of like give it a refresh with all the models coming out, the Santa Fe, the Elantra, of course, the Sonata as well. Overall, the design is nice on the interior. Hyundai makes a bit of that premium feel, I would say, more and premium design, and always they make sure that they load their top trims. And even the middle trims do offer quite a lot of features. Now let's get into some of the details and the things that I like about this car. Let's start first with the cluster. One of the things that I love about Hyundai cars and Kias is this. I think this is really handy and I use it quite a lot. Every time I drive a press car, I love having this tech feature because it is actually useful. Some companies tend to make tech features that are just there as gimmicks, but this one actually works, and it works at nighttime, and it works really great in snow and rain. And let me tell you, I've used it quite a lot. There's a digital screen, which of course can be changed with the different driving modes. And this one, it does have, you have your sport, eco, smart, and then you can change the terrain from snow, mud, and sand. And what's even more important is the fact that it is all-wheel drive. I like the cluster. It's easy and it's not too hard and it's not too big right on your face. But you're missing a heads-up display over there. But if you have this, what's the point of a heads-up display? And in here, of course, we have the steering wheel. The steering wheel comes with some tech features. You have your lane assist, gap assist, cruise control in the side, and then you have the volume, seeker, radio, everything onto that side. You have these pedal shifters at the back, which I'm assuming they're going to be used for the regeneration. And keep in mind that this comes with an automatic transmission. One of the things that I'm not a big fan of these cars, to be honest, generally, is that it doesn't have a proper shift knob. I kind of like a shift knob over this one, and it's just, I'm used to a shift knob, but some people might get used to this one. That's one of the things that I do not like about Hyundai cars, is that they don't have proper shift knobs. This one sometimes just get a little bit annoying, but I do believe with time you get used to it. In the stand over here is your wireless charging pad, and you have your USB ports, your climate units, and then moving on to the actual infotainment display, which it is touchscreen. And again, this is not their newest software, because if you go back and look at some of the vehicles that I reviewed, like the Kona, does have a different design, different layout in comparison to this one, but it still works. In fact, it does a really good job. Look at that. You got your 360 camera in this case. You can change all the settings in here. Gives you quite a lot of options and different view of the vehicle from top, sides, front, and back, which I think is real handy, even though this is not a giant vehicle, so it will be easy to park around. You also have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay in this case. You have a built-in navigation system, and because it is a hybrid, you have a hybrid built-in app that shows you your fuel efficiency and where the power is getting delivered, which is something that a lot of hybrids offer to make sure you get the best information to achieve best fuel efficiency. Now, in this case, you have your Blue Link, which you can connect your phone. You have quiet mode, which essentially provides only sound to the front seats, not the back. If you have a child, like in my case, this would be a really handy one. Besides the fact that you have a climate control over here, there's also another climate control menu onto the side, a double one. In case if that one breaks down, it's like easy to use this one. I think it's really nice and handy. Overall, the interior of this car is really nice. The space is great. For me, I'm 6'2", lots of leg room, also headroom. And then moving on to the side here for the passenger, both passenger and the driver's side get power seats. And for the driver's side over here, you get the memory seats. You get 2 memory seats in this case, which I think is really helpful. If you drive this or your partner drive this, you can save different memory seats in this case. Now, let's go for a drive. Okay, let's talk about the engine. Under the hood, this model uses a 1.6 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, and it is equipped with a 1.5 kilowatts lithium battery. Peak horsepower is about 226 brake horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. But the best news is the fact that this does not use a CVT. It uses a 6-speed automatic transmission, which I think is quite handy because the car does feel a little bit faster and you don't get that awkward silence of no gear shifting. This, on the other hand, feels a little bit spicier in my opinion from the other hybrids, which do tend to use CVTs. Now, that's not to say that CVTs are bad. It's just they're faster, they're not as fast as automatics. And also, you don't feel awkward driving one of them, to be honest. Sometimes it's just one of those things with a fake shift, not the greatest feel. Now, let's talk about fuel efficiency, because at the end of the day, that's why people are going to buy a hybrid overall, is the fact that it doesn't have better fuel efficiency. Now, this will give you highway drive about 6.6 liters per 100 kilometers. Instead of drive about 6.3 liters per 100 kilometers. You should have the MPG conversion in there as well. The average I have achieved with this driving around is about 7.4 liters to 7.5. Now, mind you, I did tend to put this thing in sport mode once in a while. I like that boost. But with smart mode, essentially it does the job for you where it switches between EV and, of course, the petrol engine. Now, the good news is that you can also drive it just on EV, and it does show on the screen over here the battery power, the battery charge, and at the same time in the center here I have the hybrid app built in that shows the fuel efficiency in this case and the energy flow. Now you're probably wondering, wait a second, that says 11.2. Yes, it does, because I've been driving like a crazy maniac, because we're doing the rollers and you're moving around a lot, you're putting your foot down a bit, so that is not the best and the most accurate right now. Another thing you need to know is that the Tucson with the hybrids comes with a very special warranty. You see, this thing offers up to 160,000 kilometers coverage, or about 8 years in Canada. In the US, it might be a little bit different, but you should get very good warranty with the hybrid model. Now, in terms of the trims, Hyundai is offering 3 trims with this. And one of the negative things that I don't like about this hybrid model is the fact that it doesn't have a basic hybrid. So you get the premium, and then you get the N line, and then you get the ultimate, which is the one that we have for today's video. Now, another model that this is going up against is, of course, the CRV hybrid. And the problem with the CRV hybrid is, where I think the Hyundai wins, is the fact that it does only offer the hybrid version at the highest trim, which is a lot more expensive than this. To wrap up this video, here's what I think about this model. It's fun to drive, it looks cool on the outside, offers a lot of tech feature. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell, and check out my other videos on my channel.